Hey friends, not sure why my screen is so high up. Maybe my chair is a little down. That's better. Hi, this is Kristen with Free Spirit Beading over on the Softlex Company YouTube channel. Good afternoon, Thomas. Hi, Lydia. Well, today is March 23rd, and I was here last week talking about how interesting things have been, and they continue to get more and more interesting, don't they? Hi, Lee. Welcome. Or maybe in some cases less interesting because we're all unable to go out and do the things that we usually do. We have to stay home for ourselves, the safety of ourselves, our loved ones, our communities, all that stuff. So it's a great time to create. It's a great time to bead, make jewelry, and do some of the things that you love to help alleviate some of the stress and anxiety of what is going on right now in the world. I know for me, my studio is my happy place, and I'm sure wherever your studio is in your home is your happy place too. I have been loving the Spark Joy Through Creativity Joyful Beading Daily Challenges over on the Facebook VIB Studio group. And hi, Emily, and I hope you guys have been too. It's been so nice to see everyone's creations, to support one another and be in community and just have like a prompt and something to do each day. Hi, Susan. Well wishes from Las Vegas. Yes, well wishes to everyone around the world. It's just a wild time. So if you don't know what I'm talking about with Joyful Beading Challenge, we started a challenge over on the Softlex Company Facebook group. And you can find the link in the description to this video, or I just saw Softlex Company shared it in the chat. And what we're doing is every day we're posting a prompt for you to use to create something to inspire you, and then asked everyone to share what they're working on with the hashtag Joyful Beading in the group. And we're even giving away $10 each day towards your next order credit to one lucky winner. So if you share one image design, or if you share 10 designs, each of them are going to be an entry. And the next day, Thomas is going through all the entries and just randomly choosing, with random.org, I think, choosing a winner. And then we're giving you $10 store credit to use towards your next order. So it's twofold. It's something to do, something to look forward to, a lot of fun in your community, and then we're also giving away prizes for participation that hopefully helps you get some stuff you need on your next order. Thomas just announced the winner from Friday. I think he's doing it around noon each day for the day before. So if you check it out on our group, we just announced who the winner was for Friday. So good luck. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I know I've really been enjoying it, and it's making me bead every day to participate in the challenge. It's been a lot of fun. We are currently working with limited staff in our main office. As of right now, we're still shipping. We're just shipping a little more slowly because we're not having many people in the office, and we're just shipping on certain days. So with that said, I wanted to just remind you to take a look at your beading stash. If there's anything you're getting low on that maybe you really need, like crimps or beading wire or something that you use all the time, please place an order. Get that in as soon as possible. We don't know, every day things are changing and changing rapidly, and we wouldn't want you to be without some of the crucial things or key things you need in your bead staff to create. So take a look. Do some stock on what you've got in-house and what maybe you need to stock up on if you're home for an extended period of time and you want to keep creating. That said, we're also offering 20% off on all new products over at softflexcompany.com. That's been going on since last week and it ends tomorrow night, March 24th at midnight Pacific time. We've got things like wig jigs for jewelry making jigs in there. We have, what else is new? We've got our whimsical beadtastical bead mix. There's still some of those available, so you can grab one of those 20% off. We've got a ton of findings and connectors and some toggles that we brought in. We even have a toggle and crimp matching set so that you can get 20% off on that. And we of course have some metal stamping tools, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Is I'm going to be using our metal stamping tools. I'm going to be using the texture tool, and I'm going to show you a few of the other things that we have available online for you. If you want to take up some metal stamping, now is a great time to do something new, isn't it? Oh, Softflex just shared the calendar. Yeah, we do have a full calendar up and through the end of March for the Joyful Beading Challenge, and they just shared the full calendar, so you can even get ahead of yourself if you have time on your hands to create even more and get some of the days ahead done. All right, let's take a look at some tools and blank we'll be working with today and do some metal stamping, and then we're gonna make a necklace. I actually had a necklace that I shared during the Joyful Beading Challenge last week that got a lot of attention, and so I decided that I'm gonna make a necklace in a similar technique today so that those of you that liked it, I'll show you how I did it. All right, cool. Let's turn you down to the beading table and take a look at some of this stuff. So this is the multi-function texture hammer. I'm gonna be using this one today. If you just wanna do texture, you just have to grab this hammer, and it comes with a chasing head, this sprinkle texture, a ball peen head. Hi, Susie. Welcome today. Hope you're doing okay in your neck of the woods. I know it's been beautiful out here. And this one here is the nylon jaw head. So you would get these 4 in this set, and all you do is, there's an open spot there, you just slide the one that you're going to be using into the top, and then there's a little twister at the bottom so that you can tighten it and close it. And when you're done with that head, you would take that one off and just switch it to the next one. Now, if you're going to do any stamping of letters like we did here, you can also use this tool, but you do have to pick up the extra brass stamp head. So this slides in there just like the other ones do, but this is a brass top, so it's better for stamping. It's gonna give you a better impression of your stamp, and it's going to, when you hammer, it releases the energy from the hammer onto the stamp directly and not back to your hand. Whereas if you're using a steel top, then it could push that energy back onto your hand. So that's why this one is brass. It's also flat. I've showed you guys before in one of the first videos we did, Sarah and I both used the chasing hammer to do stamping, and it did damage my chasing hammer, and I wanted to show you the chasing hammer is also rounded. It's not totally flat on the top, so it's not really the right tool for when you're actually stamping some letters and things like that. But I'm gonna put this aside because we're gonna do texture today, so I'm only gonna be using the tools that come with the multi-function hammer. We're gonna use this really pretty crescent blank. I just love these shapes. I wish I had a hole puncher for metal because I really think it would be fun to punch some holes on the bottom. So one of these days I'll pick that up. But for now, I'm gonna use it just as is. This was the necklace we did together on YouTube with the stamping of the words, and then we went ahead and added some moonstone and some silver silk. Both the blanks and the tools are right now for sale in the new product section, 20% off, as well as silver silk. We have some silver silk with the findings, with the 2-strand findings just like this, and it comes with the clasp and jump rings. That is also currently on sale, and you can find that in the new product section. Really, really pretty stuff to work with. And these are the earrings we made to go along with it. So to make this kind of stamp, you would need the hammer, you would need the brass head, and then you'd need to pick up some letter stampings, which we've got some letter stampings. We've got the tape to help you align your stamping, and we have the stamp enamel marker, all right now available on sale, 20% off in the new product section. So that's what you'd need if you wanted to go ahead and do some letter stamping. But we are gonna play with some texture. And I think my favorite texture is the ball peen. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that one right in here, and then just twist my bottom to tighten it. And that is the texture I'm gonna go with. So I'm gonna do a little hammering. I do have some doggies in the house, but I think they'll be okay with my hammer. And I'm just hammering right on top of this large steel bench block. You can find this online also at softflexcompany.com. And I'm currently holding my finger in place to hold down my blank. But you could use this tape. So this is the tape you can use to either hold your blank in place, or if you want to line up, let me see if I could cut it. No, not with my fingers. If you were working with letters and you wanted to line it up properly, you would use this tape. So if I wanted to just say, I'm just gonna tape this down so it doesn't move around. Maybe I'll tape it in the center. Boy, it feels good to pound this out. Now you do want to be mindful of your little corners where you have the holes there. You don't want to smash these little holes and make it difficult to get your beading wire in there. I was curious. Huh, that's interesting. So if you wanted to play with putting tape and making some stripes, you could actually even use this as a way to mask some areas off and then stamp in between. Just a design idea. I plan to hammer the whole thing, so I'm gonna hammer on top of the tape and see what happens. Ah, so you see where your tape was, you actually get a much lighter impression. It does not hammer quite as hard. Again, that could be another design element. You can either mask it off and try and texture not where the tape is so that you've got some texture and some blank spots, or you can try to do different degrees of texture by putting that tape down. So there's a few different ways. You can play around with that. So I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe a little bit more. In the center, just to fill it in. That looks really cool. So I plan to make a necklace today, but I'm curious if these would make some monster fun earrings too. I just haven't, maybe I'll play around with them another day. You could either wear it this way and have sort of a crescent moon feel to it, or wear it flat across like that. Very neat. So this is the ball peen texture. That is this one right here. And then, if you recall, we made these earrings way back on YouTube. You can find these in the metal stamping playlist. And this one is done with the sprinkle texture. So just to see the difference there, that is done with this one here. And that comes with the tool. So that is the sprinkle texture. And we even tried using some patina paint on that sprinkle texture. So you can do that. This was just, I think, 1 or 2 layers, but you can even layer on more if you wanted to play around with adding color to your texture stamps. The last one is the chasing hammer, and that makes a very soft texture. Let's see if I've got my sample in here. There we go. So this one was the chasing hammer, and this has a really soft kind of rivery texture. But you do see, because I used that hammer with the stamp and it made some marks onto my texturizer there, that got put right on there when I stamped. So that's another reason why you don't want to use your chasing hammer to do letter stamping. You really want to use that brass one. And the final one in the set is the nylon jaws. So this is great if you're doing any wire work with craft wire, so that you can work harden what it is you're working on with this tip without marring the wire. Softflex craft wire is a coated copper colored wire, and it has an enamel coating on it. And when you're using something like this that's nylon, you can hammer and work hard in that wire without hurting the surface and making any divots or any color issues on the craft wire. If you were to use something like this, or a steel hammer, or even a brass hammer, you would end up damaging the craft wire. So you really need to have something like this in your toolbox if you work with craft wire at all. All right, so let's bead this baby. I am working with the color red this week. So I have these really pretty red beads here. They're almost like a bit of a two-tone, And they're just some Czech Glass beads I had in my stash. Let me see what size they are. They are 10 millimeters. And let me show you what I used to find out that size. We've got this cool little chart over at softflexcompany.com. If you go to the School of Design section and then click on tips and tricks, you can print this out. So I just have this taped to my wall, and when I need to figure out a size of a bead, I can just place it over the different holes, the different circles. And so I know I have a 10 millimeter bead because it's right at that size there. This is so handy. I use it all the time. And the only tip was when you print this out, make sure that your printer is set to 100% and not enlarging it or making it smaller, because then your sizes will be off. So you just need to make sure this prints at actual size. So I'm gonna use these 10 millimeter beads. And I'm gonna use some seed beads. I have these matte silver ones here. Looks like they're a size 8. But I also have these here, which are like a blue with a little bit of a red or maroon on top. I'm trying to decide which one I want to use. But I think I'm leaning towards the silver. And what kind of beading wire, what color? So here is the design that I shared in the VIB Facebook group. I have this beautiful bird that I used patina paints on from Vintage. It's got these like cobalt blue and ruby patina paints, and then I strung it all on soft flex beading wire with these really pretty large black rondelles and those little silver seed beads. So whatever wire color I choose is gonna be a big part of the design. So if I were to do silver with red and these little silver seed beads, what color wire should I do? Should I do a red wire, or should I do something that's a little more contrast? So I've got like a red coral color. Thomas votes contrast. I'm trying to figure out what color would be a good contrast. I could do black like I did here. Black and red and silver would be pretty. I could do red, but then the beads will kind of disappear a little bit. I do like how the beads have a little bit of a smoky, they have like a little bit of a smoky look to them. Or I could go wild and do something like a turquoise. Ooh, or maybe even a citrine. That could be a really pretty color too. Let's see. Do I have black? That's the question. Yes, I do have black. So I got black, citrine, red. Maybe the citrine is too warm with the silver. that could be black, turquoise, red. And I do have extreme silver here too. I could use that one also. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3 votes for black. So I think I'll go with black. Black and red is a very classic, really pretty color. And I like how these red beads have a little smokiness to them, so they do kind of pick up that black a little bit. Okay, let's go with black. So I'm gonna give myself a nice, generous piece. You are gonna be folding it in half. So you wanna make sure you cut a nice long piece here. And I'll cut 2. I'll measure it out. I usually cut myself a little extra than what I would need, so I've got 2 24-inch pieces. And my desk has quickly gotten to be a mess. So let me move some of this stuff out of my way here. So when looking at this design, you need to make sure the beads you're working on are gonna go through 2 strands. So since this is a nice large 10 millimeter bead, it should be fine. But you always wanna make sure before you get going that the bead you chose is gonna be okay going through 2. And that one's all right. I'm going to string onto one end of my crescent, and I'm gonna find the center, just like that. So I've got this centered, and then I'm gonna string on my first red bead. And with this design, I'm leaving the wire nice and loose so that it's part of the design aesthetic. And then I'll need a couple of seed beads. I'm using this matte silver, and I believe it's a 6 or an 8. I think it's an 8. But as long as you can get 2 strands through the seed bead, it will work your size. So again, you just check, make sure you can get 2 strands through, and we're good. So you string the red one down both strands, and it'll create that nice little loop there. Now you're gonna go to the top and grab your 2 wires. You're going to string the left wire down the seed bead, and then you're gonna take the right wire and go in the opposite direction, and then pull that down. And just with your eye, look at your loops, make them kind of similar. And you can make these smaller if you want to make these smaller. or you can make them larger. Then you bring your wires together again and you slide down your next bead. And now you've created this nice little connection. Separate your beads, your wires again, and it doesn't matter if you're doing left first, right first. You just want to make sure you string them in opposite direction. So you've got one wire going through the seed bead in that direction, and then another wire going through the opposite direction. And I'm just gonna keep going through and kind of checking my links as I go, making sure that I'm keeping them about the same size. So that visually they look to be about the same size. Isn't that neatly? It's so quick. It comes together really fast. I think it would be really fun even in like multiple strands. You don't have to do all the crimping with this technique. You just have to crimp at the end for your clasp. And if you're anything like me, I've got like bags and bags of seed beads laying around. And because I'm not a traditional bead weaver, it takes me a long time to get through those seed beads. I'm gonna see how long this is. So right now I'm at about 17 inches. Sorry, not 17, 7 inches. 8, 9, 16. I think I'll probably have enough to do one more. Oh, sorry about that. Are you guys back? It looked like the screen went for a second. Still here. Thanks, Thomas. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how we will finish it now. So once you're done here, we're just going to add a crimp. And let me get a little clasp. So I'm just using a lobster claw clasp. We have a bunch of these that we put on closeout. We're trying to narrow down our finding section. So you may find some lobster claw clasps in our closeout section. So now we'll just add, and you can make this loop large again if you want to keep it in line with this, what you did before, or you can tighten it up. It looks like on this one, I had tightened it up closer to the clasp. So either way works. You're gonna string your 2x2, I'm using a sterling silver Softflex crimp tube down both of these Softflex beading wires. And then I'm gonna put the lobster clasp on one of those wires. And the one that the clasp is on, that's the one I'm gonna feed back down through my crimp tube, creating a little loop there to connect. So you give yourself like a figure 8 loop. Then I'm gonna use my magical crimping pliers. These magical crimping pliers turn your crimp tube into a nice little bead with a nice strong connection. You can always use regular crimping pliers here too, but if you like the look, I highly suggest giving these a try. They have one notch, a half circle on each side. They only work with the 2x2 millimeter size crimp tube, so you do have to be using that size crimp. You're gonna place your crimp right in the center, give it a good squeeze, and it's going to pinch your corners. And you're gonna turn it 90 degrees, place it back in again, squeeze, and then leaving your crimp in there, you wanna feel it kind of rolling around in that notch. And I just pump and squeeze a few times. You'll see I'm turning it all the way around. And then at the end, you'll have a nice, secure little bead. And then using your flush cutters, you can trim off your excess wire, being very careful not to cut your loops. And there you have it. We've got one full size done here. We'll do the same. Let's see, we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beads on one side. So you'll need a total of 12 10 millimeter beads. But you can do this technique with any size, really, as long as they fit through the 2 wires. You can use larger or smaller beads. You can make the links further apart, having to use less beads, or closer together, you'll have to use more beads. I am working with color energy the last couple of weeks with some art friends, and this week's color energy is red. So what does the color red mean to you? What are some things that conjure up for you when you see red? Like red roses. So I'm wearing red today. Susie says love, definitely love. When I think of strawberries, I think of sweetness, love and passion. Heat, yeah, definitely some heat, that's for sure. Emily thinks of Christmas. So red is a very powerful color, and it's good for love and passion. But it's also the color of your first chakra, if you know anything or have heard anything about energy chakras. And that is a very Your first root chakra is very grounding and keeps you feeling secure and safe. So it's actually a wonderful color for me to be kind of focusing on this week with everything that's been going on. Thomas says vampires. So I'm having fun while I'm stuck in the house, creating with red, beading with red. I'm wearing red today. I'm trying to eat red. The things to entertain us, right? Red lipstick on. All about the color red this week. And I have to say red is a color that I don't usually gravitate towards. So it's that's kind of interesting too, to give yourself a little challenge to incorporate something that maybe isn't. I do need red nail polish. You know, I would thought about that for the for the video, Susie, and I didn't have any. I only have pinks. I didn't have any red. Where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My links must be a little bit larger on this side here. So to tighten them up, I just gotta kind of fiddle. Pull that tight and then pull that, push that down. Pull it here and then push that down. There we go. All right, so once I have my last seed bead, then I'm gonna go ahead and slide another crimp tube down this side and line it up with what I did before. And then I'm just gonna create a loop on this side for my clasp to go into. Anyone watching anything new on television? I had started watching the show Outlander, and I'm like kind of way into it right now. So it's been keeping my mind busy in the evening. It's like a Harlequin romance novel. Emily's reading a book. Good. Yeah, this basically, I think it's based off a book. So, The Mandalorian. Ooh, that's good. I watched that. Emily says the Outlander book. Yeah. Are you reading the Outlander book? Is that what you're saying? I had never heard of it. My mom just mentioned it. Oh, wonderful. What are you up to? Is there 3 books? Is there more than 3 books? I had just heard about it from my mom about a week ago, and so I have been enjoying it. I think there's 3 books on Netflix. There's 3 seasons, but I don't know if there's actually more than 3 books. Oh, you're reading the first one. You think there are maybe 8 or 9. Oh my goodness. Well, that will keep you busy for a while. And as always, I'm sure the books are better than watching it. The first one came out in 1991. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'd never heard of it. All right, so I am all done here. I'm torn about whether or not I want to add anything more to the front. I'm gonna see how it looks when I put it on. But man, do I love that metal texture. I find that so much fun. Susie's reading Get Out of Your Own Way by Dave Hollis. Yeah, I have a ton of books that I've only read partially or maybe never even at all on my bookshelf. So I am excited to take a look and see what I've got going on there. I should read some of those. I watched with the kids last night Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but they have never seen it. And so that was our movie night last night, and I laughed so hard. I had not seen that movie in a while. It's just so funny. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's project. I love stamping. I think it's a lot of fun, especially the textures. I just totally dig them. And I know that when I posted this up in the VIB group last week, I had a lot of people comment and asking a little bit about how it was done. So there you go. That is how the technique is done. Emily says a friend recommended a British comedy called Taskmaster. So funny. It's on YouTube. Awesome. I will have to take a look. I love British comedies. I think they are usually pretty hilarious. So I'll have to look that one up. Thanks for the recommendation. What is Damien saying? My dog Rascal watched most of live action Lady and the Tramp last night. He did? What did he think? I'm gonna turn you guys back up. What did your dog think? Does he watch TV, Damien? I don't think, one of my dogs, I think, watches TV a little bit. She usually sits on the edge of the couch and has her head resting on the arm and seems pretty intent in watching. And he's mesmerized a lot of the times. That's awesome. My other dog, however, I don't think she has any idea what's going on. She never really ever looks at the TV. So, let's see. I might make, can you guys see that? I might have to move my chair up a little bit more. There we go. It's hard when I'm not looking at myself and I'm looking at it backwards. That is cool. I might even go a little shorter. I think it would be nice kind of higher up. So I might take one of those links off on the back and go a little bit shorter. What's nice about going too long is you can always shorten something pretty easily. Just take one of those links off and recrimp and we're good to go. Goes nice with my top. I always like to make jewelry with what I'm wearing. Makes it easier later when I'm looking for accessories. So, what's going on over in Softflex land this week? Just clip it onto one of the other loops. So true. That's right. I could just take and then I could wear it larger or shorter at times. Just clip it back there. So we have a live design challenge with the Painted Sunflowers design kit on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time with Sarah Ayler over on the Softflex Company Facebook page. I'm excited to see that one. That one has gotten, you guys have been really excited about it. And it's one of my favorite kits that we put together. And for those of you that got the kit, did you notice that there are some nicer quality things that we put in there, and we've been trying to on some of the future kits add in some nicer quality things. So you may see that some of the items, the quantity might not be as much as maybe a different kit, but the quality of what you're getting is higher. So I do hope that you guys like that trend and that's something you want to see more of, because I think it's really nice to be working with some higher quality items. And I'm excited to see Sarah open up that mystery kit on Wednesday and do the reveal and do the challenge. We'll have a new kit that goes online for sale that day as well, same time. And we're going to be choosing the whimsical beadtastical winner. We did the contest up through the weekend over in the VIB group, and the winner will be announced on Wednesday. We're also going to have a live bead sale. We're going to have a live bead sale for Thursday on March 26th over on the Facebook page at 1 p.m. Pacific time as well with Sarah. And what? I missed some questions here. The dollar sucks right now, but yeah, I want to buy the next kit. I know, Emily, things are just crazy. I mean, it's just from day to day, it's really hard to know what's happening. So I totally get it. And for everyone that does pick up a kit and does participate with us during all this craziness, I just want to say a huge heartfelt thank you, because we are a small business, and just like so many small businesses right now, things are really uneasy, and they're really tough, and they're scary. And I hope that you know, all of us just get through this as unscathed as possible. I can't wait for Wednesday. Susie says, I know, I can't either. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a live bead sale on Thursday. James was going to have a video, but we're going to be postponing that for now. And I do plan to be here again next Monday, so you can catch me live again at noon next Monday. 20% off all new items through tomorrow night. Includes all of the metal stamping stuff I showed today, also the silver silk, the wig jig. I'm wearing these little earrings. They're from the wig jig that we did a few months ago. All that stuff is on sale. So a lot of great items in there to check out. And joyful beading, Thomas says. And don't forget that we're doing joyful beading challenges over in the VIB group. One winner each day will get a $10 credit towards their account. And I think we're doing a larger credit for the final last day of the month. So do check out the calendar, check out the last day of the month, and participate with us over there. I will see everyone over in social media land, and I'll be back next Monday for a new video. Have a great week. Stay home, stay safe, keep beading, and keep your sanity, right? Bye.